time. The Nebraska softball team, they split a pair of games yesterday in the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational. Huskers going to be back on the diamond today as they take on third-ranked Tennessee. The Nebraska baseball team will open up the season today against UConn in the MLB Desert Invitational in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hastings College softball team, they split 2 games with Bethel College yesterday. Hastings College baseball team will open up a 4-game series with with Mission University on Sunday in Joplin, Missouri. Hastings College basketball teams on the road tomorrow playing at Morningside. UNK basketball teams are on the floor last night in their ball games against Newman University. We'll tell you how they did. Had some high school basketball in the area last night, and a big city game with Hastings St. Cecilia playing at Grand Island Central Catholic last night. We'll have the results of that coming up. Plus, Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to join us at 7:30 this morning as we begin another run through the Nebraska horse racing circuit, opening up at Fodder Park this weekend up in the Grand Island. So we'll get Jim's thoughts on the opening weekend of racing at Fodder and maybe get you a pick or two that you can lay some bucks down this weekend. Anyway, all that and more is coming up for us as we get going here on a Friday morning as we welcome in Tyson Irvonic from the Western Studios. Good morning.
Good morning. I see we got some more buttons here on the control board to press, which means that we're going to have not one, not two, but I think 3 faces. I think that's the plan here for the program this morning. We'll get Jim's face, and he'll join us here on the program today. So we got some more buttons on the control pads that I'm not allowed to press. Excited about that, but excited to get the horse racing season underway. Mike, as much as I love Blazing 5 and love talking college football on every Friday morning, this is the bread and butter. This is the show that gets me going. Talking ponies, talking spring, talking better weather. Excited to get that conversation underway. It could probably take the last half hour of the show, realistically, when Jim and I get on a tangent and on a roll. So excited to get that underway. The ponies, of course, this weekend, opening weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Fawn. We'll open up the program. We'll get you some picks. Man, what a week! And you mentioned it yesterday. You had a bunch of stuff on the agenda that we didn't even get to cover. Because we just blew through. Do you want to take out and do some recycling here this morning before we get into it?
Yeah, I've got a stack of news and notes. Jim's coming up at 7:30, so we'll try to slide in as many of these as we can here today. Some leftover stuff from yesterday, and obviously a lot of stuff that happened overnight. A couple of notes from overnight. The NBA has fined the Utah Jazz $500,000. They have fined the Indiana Pacers $100,000, with the league saying both teams sat healthy players in recent games.
God.
While noting that moves like that compromise the integrity of the game and it will not be tolerated. Yeah, the NBA has made similar moves in the past. When you sit healthy players, evidently that is not good. The league doesn't like that. And the league has slapped the Utah Jazz with a $500,000 fine. They evidently sat players in 2 different games recently. The Pacers fined $100,000. They sat some players in a single game, so they've been fined. It really hasn't helped. The Pacers and the Jazz, 2 of the worst teams in the league right now. They're in the bottom 6. The Pacers are 15-40. The Jazz are 18-38. Maybe they ought to be playing their best players and not sitting their best players. Hell, they're not. They're terrible. They're in the bottom of the league. Why wouldn't you be playing your best players?
Maybe your best players have an attitude issue. Maybe your best players aren't giving it 100%. Maybe the next man up is actually going to get you a better chance to get results. That's not their team. Like, this is such a stupid.
That is a stupid rule because
rule.
Yeah, the coach Shouldn't the coach have say on which players get on the floor and which players don't?
I might be your best player, but if we're a 15-game winner and I'm sick and tired of maxing out, I'm not going to give you 100. I'm not going to give you 100% on the court. Absolutely not. If we're already mathematically eliminated from postseason conversation and it's February, I'm done. I'm half-assing it the whole season.
Obviously, that's what's going on. I don't know if there were some. I read into the story a little bit. There was some injury problems with a couple of those guys that the trainers had them on like a minutes type deal, so they sat.
That's a stupid rule.
That is a stupid rule.
Even on the other side of the coin. Take, for instance, if I'm the great LA Lakers teams of the past, and I have a postseason spot, possibly top seed, locked up with a month to go. If I'm coaching, I'm not putting any of my starting five on the floor. I don't want to get those guys hurt for a potential championship run. So you think they're seeing the floor? Absolutely not.
No, or rest them up for the NBA playoffs. They can't even do that. Like if you're getting ready for the NBA playoffs, you can't set your top players.
I'm gonna need you to do a little more investigation into this rule because it sounds like an NBA rule, which makes the NBA harder and harder to watch anyway. But it definitely sounds like
that's
stupid.
Not right.
Stupid.
That's not right.
NBA.
Our president Donald Trump, has pardoned some former NFL players because of some past crimes. Joe Klecko, Nate Newton, Jamal Lewis, Travis Henry, and the late Billy Cannon. They all received pardons from the president yesterday. Klecko is a former star for the New York Jets. He pleaded guilty to perjury in 1993 after lying to a federal grand jury that was investigating insurance fraud. Newton, an offensive lineman, I think he played a lot of years with the Cowboys, he pleaded guilty to a federal drug trafficking charge in 2002 after authorities discovered $10,000 in his pickup truck, as well as 175 pounds of marijuana in an accompanying car driven by another man. Lewis, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns, pleaded guilty in a drug case in which he used a cell phone to try to set up a drug deal not long after he was the fifth pick in the 2000 NFL draft. Henry pleaded guilty to conspiracy to traffic cocaine in 2009 for financing a drug ring that moved the drug between Colorado and Montana. And Cannon, who played with the Houston Oilers, the Oakland Raiders, and the Kansas City Chiefs, admitted to counterfeiting in the mid-1980s after a series of bad investments and debts left him broke. So all those guys received pardons yesterday from our dear old President Donald Trump. Back in November, Trump also pardoned former New York Mets baseball great Darryl Strawberry of tax evasion and drug charges. So Donald Trump giving out pardons yesterday to some NFL players.
And we zip it up and we're out away.
The Los Angeles Raiders are expected to hire Mike McCoy as the assistant head coach under Clint Kubiak. McCoy was recently the offensive assistant turned interim head coach for the Tennessee Titans after the team fired Brian Callahan in October. McCoy brings a ton of experience to the first-time head coach on Kubiak's staff. He spent 4 seasons as the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers from 2013 to 2016. Had a record of 27-37 with the Chargers. Made the playoffs in 2013. And McCoy also had a couple of stints as the Denver Broncos offensive coordinator from 2009 to 2012, and again in 2017. Spent 1 year as the offensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals in 2018. Before McCoy joined the Titans coaching staff, he was the quarterback's coach for the Jacksonville Jags from 2022 to 2024. Kubiak and McCoy, they've worked together before. They've had a previous relationship. Kubiak was an offensive assistant under McCoy in 2017. However, McCoy was fired after a 3-7 start and a 6-game losing streak. He was given the axe. Well, now Clint Kubiak is turning to Mike McCoy to join his staff at the Las Vegas Raiders, maybe to help him out there as the head coach, because Kubiak is a first-time head coach, bringing in Mike McCoy to help him out. So that's the latest news from Vegas. Racing last night.
Talk to me, Goose.
Joey Logano.
Hey.
Chase Elliott. Yeah, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott won the qualifying races at Daytona last night. They will start in the second row of the Great American Race on Sunday. Of course, Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe locked up the front row during a qualifying on Wednesday. Now, Anthony Alfredo initially earned the final spot in the starting lineup in the second qualifier, but NASCAR disqualified his car during post-race inspection. So he is out. Alfredo will not run, and that final spot went to B.J. McLeod.
He doesn't get a run in the race?
No, he's out.
No Alfredo?
Alfredo's not going to run in the race, no.
No Alfredo. We need the Alfredo in the race.
Yeah, he is out. His car was illegal.
Oh.
So he is out. B.J. McLeod is in. So your starting lineup for the Daytona 500 has been set.
Sweet.
And those of you in our fantasy league or your own fantasy league for NASCAR, get your lineups in by race time, or at least an hour before race time this Sunday. Great American Race. There is a chance of rain, by the way. That's nothing new for the Daytona 500. There is a chance of rain, so they might be keeping an eye on that.
Whoa. Brakes. Like, handbrake. Come to a solid stop in the middle of the road kind of break here. Weren't you the one that was saying last week, why don't we just move this race down to Daytona where it's nice and sunny? Why don't we just move this down to Daytona where we won't have any weather problems? And now you're saying, and I quote, this is nothing new for Daytona to have a lot of rain.
The last couple of Daytona 500s that either run late, they've got lights there. So they look for a window. They'll do everything they can to run the race, and they're going to run the race. Sometimes it gets moved to Monday because of rain showers. I'm just saying this weekend there is a chance of rain. They're telling me that it could move in after the race or damn near at the conclusion of the race. So they're going to be keeping their eyes on race. But, yeah, it's certainly a lot better than the 10 inches of snow they got a week or so ago up at Bowman Gray. So anyway, your Daytona 500 lineup is set. They begin their season. NASCAR back on this week. It's the Daytona 500. It's coming up on Sunday.
All right.
What else I got here? Some leftover stuff from yesterday. The Big 12 Conference will play its men's and women's basketball tournaments on a high-tech glass floor.
What?
Embedded with LED technology that will allow the conference to feature data-driven graphics, advertising, and even some games for fans during timeouts. Now we've got glass floors that we're going to play on in these men's and women's basketball tournaments in the Big 12 Conference. So when the teams call timeouts, the fans are entertained with stuff on this LED floor that they're going to have.
Is there an indicator on this glass LED floor if there's like water or perspiration on the court so somebody can go in and wipe that up before we try to call a last-second inbounds play to Jamarcus Lawrence on the far sideline near Purdue that could have given us a chance to win a basketball game? Do they have little indicators that say, hey, there's water here, clean this up, stop the game?
Help out the mop boys.
Because that would be the only reason that I would invest in one of those.
The floors have been used for events at the 2024 NBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis. They've also been used in Europe. So the Big 12 is going to be using these new floors in men's and women's basketball tournaments beginning this year. Let's see, the tournament's going to be held in Kansas City.
Sprint Center, I think.
It'll be the first time that the official competition in the United States we played at one site, evidently, Kansas City, Missouri, and they're going to be using these new high-tech floors to entertain the fans during timeouts.
And they can pony up money for high-tech glass floors, but couldn't keep the Chiefs, huh?
Evidently not.
There you
go. Kyle Larson, back to NASCAR. Kyle Larson signed a contract extension, 5 years with Hendrick Motorsports. Know about Kyle Larson? He's on fire. He's won 32 career Cup Series victories, 26 since joining Hendrick Motorsports. He was with Chip Ganassi Racing before, but he was suspended by NASCAR during the pandemic shutdown for using a racial slur during an online racing event. So he left Chip Ganassi Racing after he was suspended by NASCAR for a year, joined Hendrick Motorsports, and he's won 32 races. So, yeah, he's one of the hottest guys on the NASCAR circuit.
And you get to, bury that, right, at some point? Because every time I hear Kyle Larson, the knee-jerk reaction that I hear from everybody is, oh, yeah, that's that guy that used that racist slur during a video game. And I'm like, yeah, that's him.
That's the guy.
At what point do we get to say that's also the guy that's like won 30 races since then, and that was also 6 years ago, and people grow up and mature, and can we please talk about him being a championship caliber driver?
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
We can bury that stat.
So he signed to a 5-year contract extension. His crew chief, Cliff Daniels, has also signed a multi-year extension. Even his primary sponsor, HendrickCars.com, is signed on to stay with Kyle Larson. So he's pretty well intact now, at least through the 2031 season. You might want to look at him in your fantasy racing league this week.
What do you mean? You told me Joey Logano's going to be starting towards the front.
He is in the second row, but it's 500 miles.
How many times can we use these drivers?
I think 9.
So
9 for the entire year.
Craftful.
So you can get out of the gates and...
You could.
But you got to remember who runs well on super speedways, who runs well on short track, and that's how you negotiate things.
And this goes all the way through postseason races, right?
Yep, but you can only use them like 9 times throughout the year.
So what if you get down to the end of the year and you only have 4 drivers that are qualified? Or no, they're still doing it. They're going back old school, right? So all 10 drivers or 16 drivers or whatever are going to be still eligible to win on the last race?
The last 10 races, there's going to be like 10 guys.
Okay.
So, anyway, baby steps here, my man. Baby steps. You just make sure you get your lineup in by Sunday.
Well, I got to strategize this. I can't just come out of the gates and pick my 9 favorite and then realize halfway through the year, oh, yeah, you can't use those guys anymore. You've used up all their starts.
Yeah, only 9 starts per guy. So
Okay.
3 coaches, 11 players have been named to the 2025 8-man Football Hall of Fame here in Nebraska.
Nice.
They will be inducted during ceremonies on Saturday, June 21st at the Osborne Family Sports Complex during the Sertoma 8-man All-Star Football Game. The 2025 class includes players Dennis Thorell out of Loomis, Larry Riesland out of Pleasanton, Joe Swoboda of Lawrence, Kelly Haker out of Odell, Corey Hall of Elwood, Dan Gall of Lee, Bill Ziegenbein of Polk, Kurt Lenners of Philly, Kaysen Nelson of Newman Grove, Brad Larson of Chambers, Ben Hansen of Cedar Bluffs. Then the coaches going into the 8-man Hall of Fame this year will be Tom Hodevy out of Adams, Arlo Wusk out of Sterling, and Dick Scott from Sydney St. Pat's. So congratulations to those guys. The Sertoma 8-man All-Star Football Game coming up this summer, Saturday, June 21st at the Osborne Sports Complex. Kickoff for the game will be at 6. And then we'll have the Hall of Fame. They'll be holding an induction ceremony. It's going to be held at halftime of the ball game, and they'll be honored throughout the weekend as well. So congratulations to the class of 2025 for the Nebraska 8-man Football Coaches Association Hall of Fame.
There you go.
All right, so variety of topics there in our news and notes to get things started here on a Friday morning. Again, Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network is going to be joining us at 7:30, talking about the opening weekend of racing at Fowler Park in Grand Island. Had some basketball last night. Hastings St. Cecilia boys. Oh, wait a minute. Sliker's calling it already. Sliker, we better get to our news break. Sliker's already calling in here. We've got to get his watch synced up to ours. Anyway, we'll talk ponies here in a little bit. It's 7:24. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start with city news as the city of Hastings has released results for its neighborhood character study, showing residents strongly favor new and improved sidewalks, privacy fences, and missing middle housing types like duplexes and small multi-unit buildings. The survey conducted late last year will help inform planned zoning code updates so future development better reflects community preferences. Meanwhile, at the state capitol, Nebraska lawmakers have formally reprimanded State Senator Michaela Cavanaugh after she was caught on Capitol security video removing parts of a historical display from the Nebraska state capitol walls back in January. The legislature's executive board unanimously issued the reprimand, calling her actions unbecoming and saying she'd not have been taken down the exhibit without authorization. Well, no duh. Kavanaugh apologized but said she believed the display violated Capitol rules. 7:25 over to East Side. Mike Will, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska women's basketball team lost to Minnesota 84-67 last night up in Minneapolis. Huskers cut a 21-point second-half deficit to 6 in the fourth quarter, but could not get any closer than that. Brent Prince scored 15 points, grabbed 7 rebounds for the Huskers. Nebraska now 16-9 in the season, 5-9 in the conference. They'll play host to Iowa in a special President's Day game on Monday. Tip-off will be at 11 on Fox. The Nebraska men's basketball team will play Northwestern tomorrow at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers are 21-3 on the season, 10-3 in the conference after Tuesday's 80-77 overtime loss to Purdue. The Wildcats are 10-15. They are 2-12 in the league after losing to Michigan 87-75. Tip-off will be at noon on BTN. The Nebraska softball team split a pair of games in the Shriners Children's Clearwater Invitational yesterday. Huskers beat LSU 6-0. Lost to 20th-ranked Georgia 6-5. Nebraska now 4-3 in the season. They will play third-ranked Tennessee at 11 this morning. The Nebraska baseball team will open the season today against UConn in the MLB Desert Invitational in Scottsdale, Arizona. First pitch will be at 7. Hastings College softball team split 2 games with Bethel yesterday. The Broncos won the first game 6-4, but dropped the second game 10-2 in 5 innings. Hastings is now 2-2 and will play a doubleheader at McPherson on Sunday. The Hastings College baseball team will open up a 4-game series with Mission University on Sunday in Joplin, Missouri. The Broncos are currently 2-3. Hastings College basketball teams will play at Morningside on Saturday. The Bronco women beat the Mustangs 89-71 earlier this season at Hastings, while the men lost to the Mustangs 80-71. Women's game will be at 2, with the men to follow at 3:45. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 1:45 tomorrow afternoon from Sioux City. And the Nebraska Kearney basketball teams played Newman University last night at the Health and Sports Center. The men won 86-67. The women won 76-42. Both teams will play host to Emporia State coming up on Saturday. To check in your sports headlines at 7:28 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Another absolutely gorgeous day on tap as we close out the work week. Today will be in the low 60s, plenty of sunshine, and the good news is very light winds out of the south, about 5 miles per hour. Tonight we increase the chances for rain overnight into Saturday, a low of 38. Rain shouldn't amount to a whole lot, but we'll be in the mid-50s on Saturday with more chances for rain, especially in the morning, and a high in the mid-50s. 32 Saturday night and Sunday, sunshine returns, and we're back to the low 60s.
West winds this morning at 4 miles per hour. It is clear. It is 27 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give us a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at The key to a thriving community is a good foundation. And for over 75 years, Hastings Federal Credit Union has been building and supporting Hastings and the surrounding areas, providing the support for new cars to keep you on the road, new homes to give you a place to land. or help with whatever life throws your way. With easy access via online banking or our mobile app, it's never been easier to have your financial dreams at your fingertips. Come see us at Hastings Federal Credit Union to start your banking journey today.
NASCAR fans, it's time to put your race knowledge to the test. Welcome to the Extreme Sports Fantasy NASCAR League. Pick your drivers, score points every week, and climb the leaderboard as the season heats up. Create your own league to battle your friends or join the official Extreme Sports League and compete with fans everywhere. Want into the Extreme Sports League? Email info@x-streamsports.com. Ready to race? Sign up today at x-streamsports.com/fantasy.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson and Bronick with you. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Friday. It's now 7:32. We don't have the Blazing Five. The Blazing Five has been put on the shelf for a while, but we do have Jim Slacker.
Now they're moving in the gate.
And down the stretch they come in the Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Blue Best had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to be third.
Oh, it's horse racing time again. It's the opening weekend of the horse racing season at Fauner Park in Grand Island, and we are blessed again to bring on Jim Slacker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. He's going to join us each and every Friday for the next several weeks to kind of talk about the ponies at Fauner Park and elsewhere. Jim, good morning, and welcome back to the show, my man.
Oh, morning, guys. It's in video now. I'm not quite sure what to do about this.
All right, Fauner Park opening up another season of racing this weekend. I think it's like the 73rd season of horse racing at Fauner Park. Everybody excited. It's that means springtime is here.
Spring is here. We've got beautiful weather. You couldn't ask for better weather for training than what we've had this winter. We've sent the snow down south, which hindered a few of them down there in Texas and Oklahoma, et cetera. But we've had fantastic weather, so it's going to kick off with some full cards.
Jim, I know weather has been a plus heading into the 2026 Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing season. But I was mentioning yesterday, and I think so too, a lot of excitement and a lot of buzz just around the grounds with the trainers and the jockeys, with the horsemen, and even with the patrons, the bettors. What were the fruits that we have seen from year one of operation since the Nebraska State Fair with this casino, what it's done for purses, what it's done for some of the improvements to the track. There is just a lot of excitement and buzz surrounding 2026.
There is. The casinos have added to the purses, and I think we'll continue to see that grow. We're up another 10% this year over last year. Last year was up 10 to 14%. We're seeing some bigger purses in the Nebraska bred races, which is really exciting because, we need to really get our breeding program going. Our horsemen are starting to get behind that. We're seeing some really nice breed Nebraska breds that are racing outside the state and doing real well now. And so it's exciting to see what's going on here.
As I looked at the opening weekend, the opening card, the first thing that popped up, Jim, was how many horses are in each and every race. Right out of the gates, we look like we have a full stable of horses on the Fauner Park grounds, don't we?
We do have a good number of horses. it is nice to see the trainers are supporting the box in the morning when we're drawing. You look on, especially Sunday, there's 8.5 horses in every race, for an average. That's fantastic. When we can only run 10 and we've got that many horses going, it shows that it's going to make for some good racing, and it'll make for some really good betting opportunities. Nobody wants to come out and watch 4 and 5 horse races. We see that in California, and it's very disappointing, but we're seeing some good numbers here this year.
Speaking of numbers, you look at numbers just inside the locker room for the jockeys. We've added some more jockeys this year to the Fauner Park season. Let's just kind of take an early look at some of the returners from a year ago. Some of the jockeys that were up towards the top of the standings, the trainer standings. There's some early intrigue here, and we're going to see that. We're going to see that early intrigue on opening weekend.
There is. This year we've got 15 jockeys on the ground right now. We could possibly see some more coming. Most notably, we've got back, Jose Medina, David Cardoso, that two of the top ones from last year, Victor Balin, Travis Cunningham. We've got a new one that might turn some eyes here coming up. We'll have to watch really close tomorrow. Kelly Martinez, one of the top trainers, has brought in a jockey, McKenna Anderson. She hasn't had a lot of racing lately. She has had quite a few wins going back about 3 years ago. She had a fantastic season. So we're going to see her saddle up every one of Kelly Martinez horses, and Kelly's not going to put on somebody that can't ride. An interesting fact about Kelly, she might have struggled a bit here last year, but man, she finished up tough in the nation last year. She was running at Turfway. She was running at Keeneland. She was going over to Charlestown and Mountaineer, and she rolled out over $1.5 million in earnings last year. So Kelly's not going to throw a jockey on that can't ride. So don't be afraid to take a horse with a new jockey with McKenna Anderson aboard.
All right, before we get to Jim's picks for the weekend, any other news and notes concerning Fauner Park, Jim, that the people that are going to be attending the races that they need to know? I know there's been a lot of improvements there at Fauner Park, but any other news and notes that people need to know before they head out to the races at Fauner here this season?
Well, I think one of the more exciting things that's going to go on this year is the purses. Like I said, they're up 10%, but they have taken and restored the Bosselman, the kingpin of racing here. They've restored that back to a $100,000 purse, and so that'll attract some good runners in here. We'll also see the Elite Cup Sprint that was new here last year. That's going to get jumped up to $50,000. So that's got a lot of excitement amongst the horsemen, and when the horsemen are excited, they support the entry box, and when the entry box is getting supported, it's going to make for some good wagering. The track, fantastic shape this year. We haven't had a lot of moisture, so we haven't had to worry about soft spots in the track, frozen spots, or anything like that. So when we open the gates here at 1:30 on Saturday, fans should be excited.
Again, Jim Schleicher joining us here on the Friday morning, and each and every Friday morning of the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing season. He's a part of the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network, where if you head over to their Facebook group, you can see this wonderful caricature of Jim holding some money, and that's what we aim to do this weekend. Jim, we're gonna start early. We're gonna start right on the opening card coming up on Saturday, right on race 1. That's where you have your best bet of the day in a horse called Aztec Jim, but a horse, albeit Jim, that's been off for a while, so a little bit of a wild card. He hasn't had the opportunity to run, but he's going to get that opportunity here in the very first race of the season.
Yeah, Aztec Jim comes in into the Marvin Johnson barn. They bought that horse down at the fairgrounds down in Louisiana all the way back in the end of 2024. They brought the horse up to Fawner Park, started training on him, and they had to back off on him. He had a slight injury. So being a good trainer, they gave this horse time. They're bringing him back. But this horse, like I said, coming out of the Marvin Johnson barn, has tons of speed. You look at the past performances on it. At the first call, coming out of the gate, he's had a couple seconds. But by the time they've run the first quarter mile, he's never been behind in any of the races that they show. Some of them he's been leading by 6. And the fairgrounds, Louisiana Downs, down in Louisiana, them times that this 6-year-old gelding was ripping off, if he can come anywhere close to that here, he ought to just pull away from this field. I'm not quite sure that we're going to see very big odds on it. So, it's going to be tough to possibly make a lot of money, but you never know. Let's see how the betting starts. It's always interesting, that very first race, but Aztec Jim looks like it ought to just get out there and, when the gates open, pull away easily. And Marvin Johnson's good about working with gate horses. He's great about getting them out. So I look for this horse to get out and run well.
How ironic is this now? Aztec Jim Schleicher, and the first race of the 2026 season all together here, Jim. Did you saw Aztec Jim in that first race and says, I've got to go with this one?
I'm not so much of a hunch better when it comes to putting my money down. Throwing bullets in that very first race can be kind of interesting, especially when the horse is coming out of the 1 hole, which I don't know why coming out of the 4 furlong chute there, horses tend to shy a little bit about that opening, but I really think Marvin's got this horse ready to run, and like I said, I'm gonna come out firing right away and play Aztec Jim.
All right, wait a minute. We've got somebody already chiming in on our social media sites. We have an individual that needs to buy a Valentine's Day gift, and he's looking for a long shot, Jimmy, to maybe win him some money to buy this Valentine's Day gift. What about a long shot on Valentine's Day?
Well, it doesn't get no sweeter than this. We're going to drop, though, all the way to the very last race. And Valentine's, what do you got to go with? 'Tis sweet candy. I mean, what more can we ask there? Get her a little candy. 'Tis sweet candy, the number 5 horse in the last race.
Again, Jim Schleicher joining us here as we take a look at the opening weekend card at Fawner Park Saturday and Sunday racing down at the Fawn. I want to focus one more on Saturday before we flip over to the Sunday card, just because you mentioned the early season action. How is the odds going to be affected? How are people going to wager here in the early part? There's still some unknowns. And I think there's some unknowns, Jim, in the 5th. This is a 4 furlong race, so it's basically a sprint, and it's got a lot of distance runners, and this can, if you handicap it well, be a pretty profitable race for you.
I think it could be. We're looking at some full fields here again, and we're looking at that 5th race, and when we start looking at that, this race, there's a lot of horses that have never tried this distance. It's going to be a challenge for some of these. The exception here, like I said, I look at Warhawk. He's run the distance 4 times. He's had a 2nd and 3 third-place finishes to his credit. And, of course, Dave Anderson, the 3rd leading trainer here last year, he should pick up the win. I really like Warhawk, and I think we might be able to get a little bit of a notch there.
All right, so that's the Saturday card at Fawner Park in Grand Island. You can come back again on Sunday. What's the Sunday slate look like, Jimmy?
Oh, Sunday's got 8 good races. And like I said, there's quite a few full fields in here. When you've got 8.5 horses in a race, like I said, we're gonna see some good betting opportunities here. But the only thing is, it seems like every race on Sunday has that one horse that stands out a little better than the others. It looks like going down the line, I line up pretty much with the morning line favorites on most of these races. So that could be a little tough to make some money because, like I said, I like to get away from morning line favorites, but I think it's really going to be tough to do Sunday. And Mark Hibden's got some really good runners going in there, and I think he could have a really good day on Sunday.
So talking Sunday, and you like a lot of the favorites there. It's going to be a little too late to get the Valentine's Day present, but is there a horse that you're keeping and maybe an eye on? Maybe not necessarily a long shot play, but if the money is right and the odds are right, is there a horse that you would throw into maybe a try or an exotics play to try to sweeten up the pot on Sunday?
Well, that's where I'm going back to that very last race, the 8th race, and I've got it as my long shot, Cream Puff Reaper. And Cream Puff Reaper, this horse, we got to go back a ways to see some really good speed out of this horse. I look at the odds on it. It's starting out at 10-1. Do I think we'll get 10-1? Or that one's only 4-1. I'm sorry. Do I think we'll get 4-1? That race is pretty tough. I think we might be able to get better odds than that. So that's one that I'm going to watch pretty close to playing the exotics if I can get 5 or 6-1 there.
It's got one of my beer horses in there with Tiz Hoppin'. I love my hops in my beer, and I love that. I love that 7 in there as well. So maybe a combination of a 7-5 and the favorite. Overall, opening weekend, I don't care if you're a baseball fan and it's opening day. If you're a football fan, it's the opening weekend of college football. For the opening weekend for the Nebraska Thoroughbred racing season, you've been and been a part of this. Jim, does it ever get old? Does the butterflies and the excitement, does it ever get old for you?
No, it doesn't. And, I've been around them since I was a young child, roughly 60 years of watching horses run. One thing that's going to be a little bit different for me now is, I've always been on the sidelines living everybody else's dream, and this year I went out, bought a horse out in California. She's down getting bred right now. That's a 4-year process, or at least 3 before I'll see her race, but that just added more excitement to this on how, that adrenaline rush of going, could this be me someday winning these races? So, I'd like to see other people get involved in that too. There's a lot of opportunities. You don't have to put a lot of money into it if you get a partnership with some people and, live it from the inside rather than living through the dreams of somebody else and what they're doing. And that's kind of what I'm going to try now.
All right, so that's some exciting news, Jimmy. We'll save up a few extra bucks here and be anxious to see your horse get out on the track someday, huh?
Well, we're hoping so. Like I said, it's been a dream of mine for a long time. I didn't expect to get in it this way. I figured I'd probably buy something out of a sale that hadn't run, but I don't know. I just had to dive in, and that was the way I decided to go. I bought what I think is a pretty nice mare out in California, had her shipped here, and, now we're going to send her to the breeding shed to a horse that stands in Omaha now. It's retired. It's Arcangelo's half-brother that won the Belmont back here a few years ago, and so we're going to take a shot and see what happens.
Wow, that's great stuff. Anyway, Jim Sliker with the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us today, and each and every Friday you can get the latest news right here. Jimmy, as far as your site is concerned, has anything changed over the past year? You still got the Facebook group where you put all your picks on, is that right?
I do. That's the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. It's a Facebook group that you can come over, take a look at. When we get off here, go over and look. I'll give insights on every race that'll run at Fauner this year. Every race in Nebraska that runs, I'll have my predictions and insights. I'm not afraid to throw them out there. Now I've got my face on here so that you guys can see who I am. You'll probably be looking for me at the track, but when that one horse that I thought was going to win doesn't, that's kind of how racing is. But yeah, go over and check that out. We'll have insights and articles almost daily now on Nebraska racing, and there'll be picks and selections and kind of why I like the horse for every race Saturday and Sunday, and you'll see those usually posted a day or two before the race day.
Well, just like Jimmy, just like you, or just like us with the Blazing Five, and I'll say this: I'm not afraid to play what I say, and so when I'm talking about horses, when I'm talking about exotics and throwing horses in there, I'm doing the same thing on the weekend, and I want the listeners to know that we're just not throwing horses out there to put money on it and go slide over and bet another. That's not our tactic here. We put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. And so if we're having and we're talking about these horses on Friday's show and they don't come in, we're in it together on the next Friday too, trying to recruit from the weekend. And I've always appreciated that about you and where you stand.
One thing I should preface a bit. When I say the horse is the best bet, my best bet of the day, that's kind of a misnomer. The reason I say that is the best bet is the horse that I feel is most likely to win. Can you take and bet and make money, though, on a horse that might go off at, 1 to 2? At that point, is it a best bet? Probably not, as far as the betting standpoint. Right. So that's where you'll see me putting more money on my long shots. You don't have to hit near as many. And to make some really good money. Classic example, going back last year, the Breeders' Cup. I really liked the horse. We touted him. Formidable Man. Ended up running second, but boy, he triggered some big exotics, and we made some really good money. Then you sit and look at a horse like maybe Forever Young that's going to run tomorrow over in Dubai. Probably going to be the favorite. He's running against some tough horses. Should win. But when you're running against the best of the best, you're at low odds, it's tough to make money there. So best bet maybe should be relabeled as most likely to win horse, and probably not where I'm going to have a ton of money unless for some reason I can get some odds or find a long shot to put with it.
All right, so there's the news and notes for the opening weekend of the racing season at Fauner Park in Grand Island. Again, Saturday and Sunday racing this weekend. I know, Jimmy, you'll be up there. You'll be entrenched in the crowd, enjoying yourself. And we'll get back together again next Friday. Say how you did.
You will see me out there, and I'm not going to be one of them that hides up in the clubhouse or, sits in the grandstand. I'm going to be around pretty much hitting the floor. You'll see me down by the paddock area most of the day out there intermixing with the owners, the trainers, and checking out the horses. Looking at the flesh themselves can tell you a lot about a horse, whether he's gonna run good or not. Even horses, they'll have bad days. They're not going to feel good. You need to get down and take a look at these horses before they ever hit the track, and that's where you'll find me.
All right, Jim, thanks for checking in. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show for another season. We look forward to meeting up with you each and every Friday. And by the way, you look good at your new setting there, too.
Well, yeah, you know how long I had to go out to the makeup trailer and get my hair done, get my makeup, get a wardrobe, all that. I didn't have all that last year. Now, I don't know. This is all new to me. So, I'm going to have to, go down and see KK Spa and make sure I get my hair all done nice, get my massages, and, be ready for this.
Yeah, hi, Jimmy. We'll see you again next Friday. Have yourself a great week.
Thanks, guys, and good luck at the track.
All right, that's Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. He will join us each and every Friday throughout the racing season to get you news and notes on Fowler Park and all the other tracks in Nebraska. Obviously, his predictions go right along with that. You can check him out on Facebook as well. 7:56, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Let's start at the state capitol, where Nebraska lawmakers have formally reprimanded State Senator Michaela Cavanaugh after she was caught on Capitol security video removing parts of a historical display from the Nebraska state capitol walls back in January. The legislature's executive board unanimously issued the reprimand, which is the equivalent of a hand slap, calling her actions unbecoming and saying she should not have taken down the exhibit without authorization. Cavanaugh apologized, but said she believed the display violated Capitol rules. The city of Hastings has released results from its neighborhood character study, showing residents are strongly in favor of new and improved sidewalks, privacy fences, and missing middle housing types like duplexes and small multi-unit buildings. The survey, conducted late last year, will help inform planned zoning code updates so future development better reflects community preferences. It is coming up on 7:58. We will head over to the East Side Studios, where Mike's got your sports.
The Nebraska women's basketball team lost to Minnesota 84-67 last night in Minneapolis. Huskers cut a 21-point second-half deficit to just 6 in the fourth quarter, but could not get any closer than that. Brent Prince scored 15 points, grabbed 7 rebounds for the Huskers. Nebraska now 16-9 in the season, 5-9 in the conference. They'll play host to Iowa in a special President's Day game on Monday. Tip-off will be at 11 on Fox. The Nebraska men's basketball team will play Northwestern tomorrow at PBA. Tip-off will be at noon on BTN. Hastings St. Cecilia boys basketball team lost to Grand Island Central Catholic 58-34 last night. Braylon Wolf had 16 points for the Crusaders. Chase Batterman had 11 points for the Blue Hawks. Central Catholic is now 18-4, and the Blue Hawks fall to 6-15. In the girls' game, St. Cecilia held Central Catholic scoreless for about 13 minutes of the game while going on a 32-0 run to beat the Crusaders 66-28. Central Catholic was shut out 19-0 in the third quarter. Avery Kissinger led the Hawkettes with 15 points. St. Cecilia now 19-3. Central Catholic falls to 2-20. Elsewhere in girls basketball last night, Malcolm beat Adams Central 73-50. The Patriots are now 12-9. Hastings High lost to Waverly 54-20. The Tigers are now 2-18. In boys basketball, Waverly beat Hastings High 61-48. The Tigers are now 1-18. That's a check in your sports headlines at 7:59 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Another absolutely gorgeous day on tap as we close out the work week. Today will be in the low 60s, plenty of sunshine, and the good news is very light winds out of the south, about 5 miles per hour. Tonight we increase the chances for rain overnight into Saturday, a low of 38. Rain shouldn't amount to a whole lot, but we'll be in the mid-50s on Saturday with more chances for rain, especially in the morning, and a high in the mid-50s. 32 Saturday night and Sunday. Sunshine returns, and we're back to the low 60s.
Right now, we've got west winds at about 4 miles per hour. We've got clear skies. It is 27 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hey, this is Mick from Maletta Vista Winery in St. Paul. Just a reminder, winter hours will be Saturdays, 11:30 to 9, January through February. That's just one day a week. But come in for lunch. Homemade soup specials on Saturdays. Stick around for the evening meals that start at 5. And while you're at it, stock up on your favorite wines. Workhorse, Elephant Ear, Cuban Tiger, and more are available at Miletta Vista and wherever great Nebraska wines are sold. Miletta Vista Winery, good wine, good food, no snow boots required, but we won't judge.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Conant Auto Care is here for you.
Join us for the Little Blue River Pheasants Forever Banquet and Auction on Saturday, February 21st at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings. Social hour begins at 5:30 p.m. with dinner at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at the door for just $25 for adults and $20 for kids under 16. There will be an auction after dinner, and at least 16 youth guns will be given away for ages 5 to 16. Must be present to win. All proceeds from the youth raffle go to the Youth Mentor Hunt and other youth programs, and there will be lots of other raffles too. Don't miss out on the fun.
Valentine's Day doesn't have to be loud, crowded, or rushed. Friday, February 13th and Saturday the 14th, escape to Miletta Vista Winery, high on the hill. Bring your Valentine plus a couple of friends, and your table of four will enjoy your first bottle of wine for just $5. We're adding shrimp scampi, surf and turf a la creme, and pork chop supreme to our regular menu. No pressure, no stress, just great food, great wine, and a relaxed setting with time to reconnect. Celebrate Valentine's Day the easy way at Miletta Vista Winery, St. Paul. Relax, rewind, and recharge.
All right, Mike Willenstein, Center Bronick with you. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Friday. Talked a lot about horse racing today with Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network. Again, you can go to his Facebook page and get the latest news and his latest picks. Chiming in on some of our thoughts from our social media sites. Here's a long shot. Tyson getting a date for Valentine's Day.
This is a long shot because I'm working on Valentine's Day, so it'd be pretty tough to go on a date when you're working.
Oh, geez.
I was trying to give that a ha-ha emoji. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. Trying to, make the emojis when we're live is really difficult. You can't do it. You can't just, ha-ha something. You have to like it, and I wasn't going to like it. I wanted to ha-ha it.
And you can't ha-ha it?
Then I ended up ha-haing the entire page, and I didn't want to put, ha-ha the show, because that looks tacky. So I just deleted everything, and we'll
There's probably a way to do that. You need to probably maybe talk to the IT
again.
guy. Talk to the IT guy about that. Shane was chiming in, looking for a long shot, helping with a Valentine's Day gift.
Tammy's got an idea.
Tammy's got an idea. She says maybe a big ring. Oh, all right. So there's
IT's going to shut this show down.
Yeah, immediately.
We've gone too far.
We've got basketball coming up tomorrow on Extreme Sports. We'll be in Sioux City for Hastings College in Morningside. 2 o'clock for the women's game, 3:45 for the guys. Will be on the air. Pre-game at 1:45 tomorrow. Hastings and Morningside with some college basketball here in the air. Daytona 500 Sunday. Don't forget to get your picks in.
Finally got my first cup of coffee.
Why are you running behind?
Because I brewed hot water in the first half of the show.
Yeah, now you just got the coffee.
Now I got coffee.
What?
I decided I hit brew without throwing the coffee in.
Yeah, I was going to say, you forgot to put the coffee in, so you just had hot water?
Hot water.
All right.
That wasn't really that delicious this morning at 7 o'clock when I was trying to wake up. Now we're good. You want to restart the show? Do you show number 2?
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
We got to get out of here. If you'd like to listen to Jim's interview or anything else we had on the show today, go to our social media sites, download the podcast, listen to the show at your convenience today. Got to get out of here. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you again on Monday.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.